Hey guys, welcome back to fishyacker.com. Again, I'm joined with my buddy Paul Hansen. We're going to do a little bit talking about how to unwinterize your kayak.
Fishyacker.com, the original kayak rigging video series.
Hey Paul, so welcome back. Again, welcome everybody back to fishyacker.com. We're getting into mid-April now. It's been a pretty good winter nationwide in the U.S. Haven't had a whole lot of ice. I got my buddy Paul here, from, as I always joke about, the Great White North, because, of course, I'm in Pennsylvania now, but I'm a Southern boy, so I kind of feel like I'm way up north here. But, we've had a pretty mild winter. But we just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what you might want to keep in mind when you're pulling your kayaks out of storage. Paul, I mean, you get a lot worse winters than I do, but what do you think about when you're actually, when the sun starts to come out for the first time in the spring, and you come out of the house and you go out to your shed or your garage and pull them out. What are you thinking up that far north?
Well, John, thanks a lot. It's great to be back again. We're doing this weekly now.
We're doing a lot of them.
I like it. I'm having fun. Up here in Minnesota, our seasons can get really drawn out, and this year we've been fortunate enough that we have no ice on the lakes. Today we had a little bit of snow, but it melted quickly. But when I get ready for the season, it's time to take a look at where are you storing your boats. Are they in a barn? Are they in your garage hung up? Where are they, etc.? Outside, like some people do it. Some of the things, and I know you and I have talked about this, is that you got to make a good look over these boats. I mean, yeah, they're built well and they're made to last, but man, these environmental conditions of the extreme cold, just like they are down in Florida and the warmer states, can really wreak havoc on them. So a couple of things I like to do is I like to take a good look over the boat and see if there's any scratches or any dings. But before I do that, I look inside because there could be a squirrel or mice or something living in there, And as you know, with these cloth seats, man, mice love to eat this stuff, and they tear it up. So you really want to give it the once over. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, we're lucky compared to powerboat guys because you don't have to flush your engines and warm them up, change your plugs. We're pretty lucky with that. I mean, in Virginia, you leave your boat out, just for a month or so, and like you say, you got squirrels and mice and muskrats and all sorts of stuff living in them. Other little creepy, crawly insects that like to bite at you too. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're pulling your boat out here. We were just talking about things that could be dry rotted or things that are chewed on or laid up and having dents on it. Any number of things. But so it's pretty easy to, at least with kayaks, like I said, we're lucky. We can, kind of buff those dings out and, clean them up and, not a whole lot of work to it.
Yeah, I've had this side business of repairing kayaks, welding, and things like that. And, every year around this time, I get that phone call. Hey, my boat ended up getting this huge dent in it because my kid put the weight set on there, or my wife did this to it, or, all kinds of different excuses of why they have the dents. So, for me, and I just saw this today on Facebook, someone was asking, hey, how do I get these dents out? And there's a lot of videos out there, John, and you and I have talked about this, everything from pouring water on it to heat guns to throwing it out in the sun. But when you're dealing with the northern climate like we're doing, it's going to take a while before that sun can heat up our kayaks, unlike in the summertime or down in Florida and Georgia. So one of the tips that I can say is, you can do the hot water where you pour hot water where it's dented and get it soft, and that's a pretty safe way. But the problem is that it's going to cool off pretty fast in the northern states. So what I like to do, John, is I went over to the dollar store and I got myself a toilet plunger, one of those little ones, for $1, right? So I have my heat gun. I heat it up. Now you want to be careful when you heat that up. If you start to see the color of that plastic start to get shiny, you're really, really close to the breaking point, I guess I should say, where it's going to be real sensitive and you could pop a hole through it. So heat the area up so that you can, touch it, feel it. Take that plunger, pop it on that hole, and pull the thing out. And then that air around there, or you can pack ice on there to cool it down. They all have memory, and you've seen it. I mean, the old ads with Royal X boats from Old Town, they'd have the semi hit it, and then they'd kick it back in the other side. These boats have memory in them, and all you have to do is pull that dent out, and it will go back to its original formation. So those are one of the things that I'll do for boats that have been dented. Look for scratches. If those scratches are deep, I mean, at the end of the season, maybe you had a really deep gouge or a crack, and you go, I'm going to deal with it in the spring. Well, wait the winter out. And then your first trip on the river or the lake for the season, you go, oh man, I forgot. So those are, some of the things that I keep in mind, and I tell my clients to keep in mind, and other anglers to keep in mind, that the winter can really do some havoc to it, and you've seen it.
I mean, you get the cold temperatures. I mean, we're mostly using rotomolded kayaks, but you have thermoform kayaks because of the freezing, the expansion and retraction. I mean, I'm sure some boat, where you have joints in them or where parts come together in the boats, you need to check all those locations. Like if you have pad eyes on it, they're gonna back out. And there's a whole lot of little things to it, or even just getting a magic eraser and buffing up some of the crud that builds up on it over the winter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What I do, John, is I will, give it a good wash, and that way it gives me a chance to take a look at it. And when I see those nicks and dings on there, I take that heat gun and a plastic or a metal scraper and flatten those out or clean those off. And then, this is what I've been doing for years, and I've been telling people about this, is go get yourself some cheap car wax and buff that on there and get that all cleaned up. The boat will look nice, it will paddle faster, and then it's not going to hold the scum. And you know how you pull them out, like on the Mississippi River where I live after a day, we've got this tannic scum.
Scum line.
Yep, and I'll tell you what, if you wax your boat, you're going to have less of that. When you go to wash it off, you're not going to get that staining. So those are kind of some things. The other thing we just talked about recently before we came on the air was talking about looking at our anchor trolleys.
Yeah.
They can get, if you have a metal one, of course they can rust over the year or they can crack with the plastic ones. And then also the lines. Check those out because they could have been chewed by a mouse or, by anything. And then you go to throw the anchor trolley out for the first time of the year and you lose the whole thing. So, those are the things to take a look at. If you're using the track systems by Yak Attack, make sure those tracks are running smooth.
Right.
And
don't forget that now you're into a new calendar year if you haven't gone out. If you're fishing somewhere and launching somewhere where you need to have a launch permit, or if you have one of the, the Predator XL, and you're going to have your registration, make sure your registration's up to date. Or if you have launch stickers that were only good for 2015, you really don't want to be at the launch as soon as you sit your butt in the boat and a game warden walks over to you and strokes you.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are some really key points.
Even a fishing license too, obviously.
Well,
but yeah.
That it has never happened to me. Knock on wood. I've been a good boy. I remember.
I miss Virginia when they went to the calendar year. So in other words, it was a 1 year from the date of your purchase. It wasn't by the calendar year, January to December. That was nice. So you got a little bit extra time on if you don't fish early winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say one thing too, though. If you're for those that are trailering kayaks, that's another thing. If you've got a trailer sitting up all winter, make sure you're checking the grease and the bearings on those too.
Absolutely.
Wiring.
Absolutely. Between the wiring harnesses and those bearings, those can be. I mean, I can't stress it enough. You and I both have seen people who've been. Oh yeah, we're taking that first big trip out, and those bearings seize up, and that kind of wrecks the whole day.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are many of the things as well as checking our personal equipment. But the boat side of it is checking those boats out, making sure they're fitting, and and even the rudders. I mean, things get moved. If you're using if you're paying for storage, you don't know what's been going on in that barn or pole shed or building. Things have got jostled around.
Yeah.
And, if your rudder could get cracked or the lines are cut or, there's a lot of things that can happen to these boats over a course of a winter. So I think it's a good, take it out, get the guys together in a six-pack.
But you got kids for, right?
Well, that's what you have kids with. My drift boat looks wonderful in the springtime because if the kids are going to go to a movie or get a new video game, they got to buff out the drift boat.
Speaking of, I think I got mine coming up the back door right now. They're going to come in. But I know we'd also talked about, everybody out there, if you have ideas for videos or questions you want us to answer, throw them at us. Feed us some ideas and have us some good conversation pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here for you guys. And John and I, we've got this wealth of knowledge, and it only goes so far, but we've seen a lot and we've heard a lot, and we're out here to educate and help people out. And the great thing, with our whole group with Old Town is that we've got this plethora of information we can gather from that we've been using. And so we want to share that with everybody. So if you have questions, send them off to John onto the Facebook or put them onto the YouTube site.
Down below.
Yep, absolutely. And next week, we'll grab those questions and we'll go through them and help you out. We're here for you. So, put us to the test. Ask anything you have on kayaks and kayak fishing. I mean, John's been around this game for a long time, and I have as well. And so we're here to make life easier for you. We've made those mistakes, right?
Yeah, there's not much out there someone hasn't been through before.
So, and the beauty of these boats, it's an open canvas. Right. So let us help you, and this is always a lot of fun for me. I think you and I both learn a lot from these sessions, and I think it'll help us out and it'll help other people out as well.
And there they come now, so I'm going to roll. Cool. Thanks for being back on, Paul. As everybody, again, please subscribe to the Fish Yacker YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Sorry to run, but they're standing at the back door. They're going to walk through the frame. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.